Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Good morning. Welcome once again to Kahului Hongwanji's Sunday service, online YouTube Sunday service. This morning we are kind of beginning, in a way, our Obon season. Next week would have been our Obon dance and Hatsubon services, but due to the coronavirus, of course, we won't be having them. But we will be having a Hatsubon service in a kind of a online form for the Hatsubon families, those who have lost loved ones since last Obon. So we will be doing that, and of course we won't be able to have the Bon dance. But we will continue with doing our online services, and we will also have our Obon major service coming at the end of the month. So right now, let me tell you about the order of service today. We will begin with Vandana and Tisarana, followed by the Sutra chanting, which will be the English Junirai, or 12 homages. Following the chanting of Junirai, we will have the recitation of the Golden Chain of Love, and then I will share a Dharma message with you. And after that, we will chant the Metta, the loving kindness meditation, and then sing the Nembutsu, and then we will have a few words of closing for the service. Okay? So thank you again so much for being with us today, and we will begin our service now. As I've mentioned before, many times before, if you have a Butsudan at home, or even just an image of the Buddha and a candle, whatever you have, if you would like to, it would be very nice for you if you could light the candle or light some incense, so you can kind of join with, be part of this service. Because even though we're all separated because of the concerns about COVID, at the same time we're all unified. We are all together. We're all together in the Dharma, in Amida's embrace of great compassion. Okay? So please do that if you can. All right. So let's begin our service today by putting our hands together in Gasho and reciting Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo. Namo tassa
for guidance.
steadfast like the elephant's pace, Buddha's eyes like the blue lotus. Thus I bow to Amida. Buddha's form round like the moon, bright like 1,000 suns and moons. Buddha's voice like the nightingale. Thus I bow to Amida. Buddha's figure on Kanon's crown, adorned with wondrous features. Buddha subdues evilness. Thus I bow to Amida. Beyond compare, Amida's pure virtue shining clear like space. All benefit from Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida. Bodhisattvas all renown, Maras to praise Amida. Primal vow made for our sake. Thus I bow to Amida. Golden ponds where lotus bloom, towers a throne of goodness. Buddha lives like the mountain king. Thus I bow to Amida. Bodhisattvas come afar, attaining true happiness. They revere the Buddha's face. Thus I bow to Amida. All life changes like the dew. We have no permanent self. Buddha teaches this law to all. Thus I bow to Amida. No evil in the Pure Land, and no fear of evil paths. Faithful hearts honor Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, saving us through many ways. No tempters, no evil friends. Birth leads to enlightenment. Thus I bow to Amida. Amida, thus I have praised. Virtues boundless like the sea. These virtues shared with others for birth into the Pure Land. Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. Golden chain of love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo. Please join me with hands in gasho as we recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Well, welcome again. It's nice to have this time to share the Dharma together, to listen to the Dharma together, and to reflect and think about it and how it applies to our life. So right now we're at the beginning of the Obon season. So Bon dances and memorial services, but especially the Bon dances, have really been a major part of the summer season here in Hawaii. But unfortunately, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, all the issues surrounding that, we are unable to have that. It's not safe to have the clustering of people like that, so we really cannot have the Bon dances this summer, which is unfortunate. But not having the Bon dance is also a good thing too. We can find something to reflect on there. Impermanence, the fact that life is unpredictable. That's very important too. So we don't always get to have things the way we would like them to have. But the meaning of the Bon dance is still holds for all of us. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the meaning of Obon in general today, to sort of get us thinking about it for the next few weeks. So first of all, next Friday and Saturday, July 17th and 18th, Kahului Hongwanji, usually we would have our Hatsubon Services and Bon dances. So we won't be able to have those. However, for the families who are remembering a loved one who have passed away since the last Obon, the Hatsubon, first year Bon Memorial, we will be having live online Hatsubon services on July 17th and 18th at 6:30 p.m. Using the Zoom software. And so these services won't be open to the general public. You have to be contacted by us or call us to ask to join the service. There are really 4 people who are remembering someone, a Hatsubon family member who has passed away since last year. So for many of you, we have been contacting you, and we will, if you haven't heard from us, we will be contacting you or give us a call. If there's anyone else who would like to attend who has lost someone in the past year, please do call us. You're welcome to join. And also, just as a reminder, next Sunday we will not be having our regular Sunday YouTube video. That's July 19th. So we'll take a little break. Normally we take the break on that Sunday after the Bon dances. So we thought we'd just keep up that tradition too. If you want to watch a memorial, if you want to watch another video of a Sunday service or of a temple service, there's many of the temples are doing services, and so you can check the Hatsubon Ganji Mission of Hawaii website. You can look at our YouTube channel, Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple YouTube channel, and look at some of our past services. Maybe you missed one. We've been doing this is about the 15th one that we've done so far, so you may have missed one. You might want to check that out. But do please look around. You should have no trouble to find an online service. On Sunday, July 26th, we will be back again for Sunday morning YouTube service with our Obon major service and also family remembrance. So please join us then. So right now, to think about Obon, to get the season off to a good start, I want to share a few thoughts about the meaning of the Obon season. Do you know the story of Obon? Obon is based on a story from the Ulambana Sutra about one of the Buddha's disciples who was called Maha-Moggallana. That means Great Moggallana in the Pali language. Or it's even harder to say in the Sanskrit language, so I won't even try to say that one. I would just say that Moggallana, in fact, instead of Maha-Moggallana, because it's much easier to say. So he was supposed to be a great disciple of Shakyamuni Buddha, of the historical Buddha, one of his great followers. So he was known as Maha, or great, and that's like a Maharaja, a great prince. Maha means great in Indian languages. So he was known for his superior supernatural powers and ability to see beyond this world into the spiritual world. And so now Obon is a time when many people make offerings in the temple in order to help their loved ones who have passed away. That's the traditional way of looking at it. You make offerings to help your loved ones who have passed away. And since we're followers of the Jodo Shinshu teaching, and we trust that Amida Buddha, who is limitless compassion, has already completely embraced and liberated everyone, including our loved ones and ourselves, we don't worry about saving our loved ones in the next world. But I think it's important that we understand these traditions. So let me tell you the story about Moggallana. So one day, Moggallana was looking into the realm of hungry ghosts with his spiritual vision. I don't know if he had a crystal ball. I don't think so. He was looking into the spiritual world, though, through samadhi, deep meditation, and he saw his mother in the world of hungry ghosts, kind of one of the hells, the Buddhist hells. And so he was very upset. And what he tried to do, people are always hungry in the world of hungry ghosts. So he sent his mother a bowl of rice into the realm of hungry ghosts using his power. And however, when his mother tried to eat it, the rice burst into flames and turned into charcoal, and so she could not eat the rice he sent her. When he saw this, Moggallana really wept out of sadness for his mother's suffering, even though he could tell what caused all the other ghosts, all the other spirits in there, suffering spirits, to receive, to be in that hell. He could not see what was causing his mother's suffering. He didn't know why she was there. So he immediately went to the Buddha to ask him. So the Buddha said, Moggallana, look, your mother in her previous life slandered the Buddha and the Sangha. Also, she did not believe in cause and effect, and she was greedy and she had a bad temper. She had some problems. That's why she's receiving this retribution, you might call it. Not exactly retribution, but she's receiving this condition so that she can kind of become purified. And the reason why you cannot see this, you cannot, because even though you have your spiritual power, you can't see this because this is your mother, and so your miraculous power is obstructed by your love for her. So the love between a mother and son is very powerful. It can, really, you can't really see her faults because of that. So Moggallana asked the Buddha, "Oh, world-honored one, is there any way to help my mother?" The Buddha said, "Moggallana, the only way to help your mother is to rely on the combined help of all the monks, the whole Sangha. So now, on the 15th day of the 7th month of every year, as you know, is the last day of the rainy season, the monsoon season, when we have a retreat for all the monks, and many of them will have actually attained enlightenment by then. So if you make many offerings to all of these monks on that day, you can rely on their combined efforts to release your parents and relatives from being in these dreadful realms. What's more, if someone's parents are alive, they will live a longer and happier life if these offerings are made. So, do you know about the rainy season retreat? In Buddhist tradition, you know, Buddhism was in India, started in India, Southeast Asia, and so on. So monks are people who give up living ordinary life with family and working for a living and so on, and having homes and so on. And they live a homeless life. They even shave off their hair. They just have a robe and a bowl. And they spend all of their time doing Buddhist practices. Now, because they're not supposed to own anything, any possessions, or have any material security, they weren't supposed to even have a place to live. They just wander from place to place in the forest, and just sit under the tree at night and so on. So they relied on the lay people to give them food every day. But other than that, they tried to live without anything, without any attachment, completely renouncing everything that you could possibly become attached to. And some monks in Sri Lanka, Burma, and Thailand still try to live this way. But it's very hard to do in the modern world, even in those places. And the forests that the monks used to wander in are getting smaller and smaller because of development. So now most monks have to stay in temples. But anyway, every year in India and most of Southeast Asia, until climate change is affecting this, but there is a very fierce rains that come from every year. It's a very important part of the whole cycle of the climate. They're called monsoons, and during those monsoons, it's very difficult. It's dangerous to stay outside, and also many insects thrive during that time. And monks are not supposed to even harm any living thing, even insects. So it's very hard to not avoid stepping on insects and so on. So during the rainy season, the tradition of ancient Buddhism was for the monks to stay in one place together, listening to Dharma talks and practicing their Buddhist practices. And during that time, instead of wandering around, they would stay in a big place. Someone would give them a big, land, or when temples started to be developed, they would stay at a big temple. And the lay people would bring food to the monks in there, and they didn't go out to beg for it. And because of this, they were able to practice Buddhism very intensely during this period. And that's why the Buddha said that many of the monks will have become enlightened by the end of the rainy season retreat. So the meaning of this is that having attained enlightenment, these monks would have the combined power to save people who were suffering in the next world. So Moggallana carried out Buddha's instructions and made offerings to all the monks on the last day of the rainy season retreat. And as a result, his mother was immediately freed from her suffering. From this time on, it's said, offerings were made to the monks at this time, when the rainy season retreat ended, around the middle of July in our calendar. And so that's the story of the origin of Obon. And for centuries, Obon has become a time for people to bring offerings to the temple in order to feel that they are helping their relatives, their loved ones in the next world. We human beings worry about our loved ones, don't we? So this kind of practice helps people to get rid of some of the worries and feel better about the fate of their mothers and fathers and family members who have passed away. Also, monks and temples came to rely on the offerings they received from this practice, so they did not discourage it, of course. Anyway, these things are kind of normal. But human beings, we are kind of harsh in our judgments, and we can't stand to think that people are not punished for their bad actions. In this world, people don't always get punished for bad actions, and they don't always get rewarded for good actions either. And that's one of the reasons people do believe in an afterlife, in some form. There's many different forms, because most people have very hard lives. There's only a few people are very comfortable and wealthy and so on. In human history, most people suffer a great deal in life, and so you just have to think, well, hopefully, I try to do good, and hopefully I'll get rewarded in the next life, But also, you know, we also sometimes think about people who did bad things, and we say, oh, they never got punished for it. You know, I hope they get it in the next life. You know, when I was a kid, you know, sometimes I would get in trouble for something I didn't do, and then my mother would say, "That's okay. That punishment can be for something else you did that we didn't know about." So, but I like to feel that people, you know, I mean, we like to feel, of course, that people do get their true reward or punishment eventually. So we humans have all these stories and these ideas about the next life, the punishments and rewards of the next life. But actually our beliefs about the afterlife tell us more about ourselves than they do about the fact of the afterlife or the next world, whatever happens there. I've never died yet, so I don't know what happens in the next world, so I can't attest to it. But these stories tell us something about ourselves, I think. So actually no human being really knows what happens after death. So I want to tell you about the Jodo Shinshu view of this, the Shin Buddhist view. We also celebrate Obon, we Shin Buddhists, Jodo Shinshu, Hongwanji tradition, and so on. But actually, people who trust Amida Buddha, we don't need to worry about the condition of our loved ones. In fact, Jodo Shinshu followers think of Amida already as as our parent, our loving mother and father, who is always working to save us from the results of our bad actions. Amida is always working to save us. No matter what we may have done, our loving parent, Oya-sama, embraces us with love and acceptance. Of course, if a human parent accepted everything their child did that way, never ever criticize the child, always just accept just as you are, it's okay, that child might become a little spoiled, right? In our everyday life, we actually need consequences to teach us, to learn wisdom, especially as we're growing up. But the image of Amida as a loving parent is so important because, you know, it gives us a sense of belonging in life, you know, and it helps us to understand the meaning of Buddhist teaching, especially the Nembutsu. Amida literally means limitless or measureless compassion and wisdom. Limitless, measureless compassion and wisdom is always all around us, surrounding us, always nurturing us. So when we say Namo Amida Butsu, when we live Namo Amida Butsu, we are surrounded by compassion. We are totally accepted just as we are. In Jodo Shinshu, following Shinran Shonin's teachings, we can really let go of our anxieties about where our loved ones who have passed away have gone. We don't worry, oh, they went to hell or they went to the Pure Land or whatever. We can let go of our fears about where we will go when we die as well. The fact is, everybody does bad things in their lives. Often we don't even know we're doing bad things. If we spend our lives in fear about punishment, we will only try to avoid bad things out of fear, not because we understand what is right. With that attitude, we will never be able to do anything meaningful in life. We'll always be afraid to try anything. We won't think for ourselves. We'll just follow, rules, just, fixed rules. We'll never think. We'll never look at the world in a creative way, or in a way where we try to improve it, right? Everyone, and of course we all do good things in life too. Everybody does good things. Maybe not completely good, but we don't do completely evil things either, where it's always a mixture. But, but if you do good deeds just thinking, I'm going to get a reward, I'm going to go to the Pure Land, or I'm going to get a pat on the back or whatever, it's not completely good, right? It's got selfishness involved in doing good. So we, realizing that we are embraced just as we are is also an important way for us to look honestly at myself. Amida accepts me just as I am, but I'm such a shameful person. The more I realize that, the more I think about that, the more I feel kind of ashamed. I need to be better to to be deserving of that great compassion, great love I'm always receiving. It makes me look at myself more honestly. We can say, yes, I have done bad things, and then learn from our actions. We don't have to just say, I've done bad things, so it's hopeless, or, I haven't done enough good things, right? When we see ourselves as we really are, with the good and bad all mixed together, we can appreciate other people more too. Everybody struggles. Everybody tries their best to do good, but we all often do bad things. So we don't have to judge other people. We don't have to think, oh, you're such a bad person. We can always see, there's that everyone's trying. Everyone has this complexity, this ego, this selfishness that is so strong, But the important thing is to realize that. That's what Amida's great compassion in this life does for us. It opens us up to see our foolish nature, to see that selfishness, that ego that's just so strong, In a way, we can't escape it, we can't overcome it, and we wouldn't even be alive if we did, right? For instance, it's really actually selfish to eat if you think about it, right? Eating is one of the wonderful things that we do as human beings, but boy, you have to kill animals and plants in order to eat. You're taking life. That's not a good thing, right? It's impossible to do perfect good. We have to think about what we mean, what's really going on as we live our life, and then maybe be able to say, oh, I have such a big ego. I think I can be so good. I think I'm earning my way to heaven, to the Pure Land, whatever it is, or I deserve everything I have. No, we have to come to ourselves and say, I receive so much goodness and kindness from others. Amida Buddha is everyone helping me throughout my life. So much kindness. I'm so grateful. And how shameful I don't appreciate it, I never think about it. I just accept everything as my due and complain, right? But every time I eat, something had to be killed for me to eat. Oh, we really have to think about that. Only when we think about the great compassion, the great infinite kindness we're constantly receiving from others, then we really see things more clearly. That's the Nembutsu life. So when we think the way Amida always accepts me just as I am, then I can be a loving parent to others, right? I can be a brother and sister and mother and father to everyone around me. I can care for others naturally. So isn't that wonderful to realize, if I'm receiving this life, I don't have to judge others. I can also share the life I've received with others. Then we can all live a life of appreciation and acceptance. That's what we need, really, if we're ever to really do good in this world and to somehow change the serious, serious problems that we're facing today. So thank you very much for listening, and please join me as we conclude these words with the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. And now, would you please join together with your hands in Gassho for the chanting of the Metta, or loving kindness meditation. And then that will be followed by the singing of the Nembutsu. Okay, let's put our hands together in Gassho and recite and chant the Metta. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Well, thank you so much for joining us for our Sunday online Kahului Hongwanji service. It's really nice that we are able to get together like this to have our services, and even though we can't be together in person, we are still able to have this time to reflect and to learn something about the Buddhist teaching, which is very important, to think about it and to try to really live our lives in accordance with the Buddhist teachings. So just a reminder again, we won't be having an online service next Sunday. That will be the Sunday following when we would usually have the Obon dance, the 17th and 18th, Friday and Saturday. We will be having the Hatsubon services on those evenings for the Hatsubon families, which will be live online services, but we won't be having a regular public service that week. The following week, the 26th, we will have our major service, Obon major service, and also family remembrance, so all kind of combined together. So please join us for that. And if you don't have, if you're still would like to, of course, watch some Buddhist service during next week when we're having a little break, that's fine. You know, there are plenty of other temples that are continually putting out services, so you can check with the Hatsubon Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii website to find another service that's going on. Okay, so thank you very much, and please stay well. Thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida.